When things don't work out, you know what I do? I don't go, woe is me. That didn't work out for me. Oh, the government is not giving me a loan. Oh, no. No, I don't cry about it. You know what? I put that shit in the trash and start some new shit. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns, and please click that like button and that subscribe button. So today we're going to talk about how you can transform your business. I really want you guys to get real with yourself. And when I say you need to get real with yourself, we can't blame the government for everything, okay? Were you in the best of shape prior to COVID-19? Even if you say, oh, my business was operating in the perfect manner, but it's always room for improvement, okay? So if you're one of those people, you should think of ways to improve, okay? We need to look at our company's strengths and weaknesses, what our customer service, our financials, the products and services we were rendering. Were our customers very happy with the products, or did you get complaints about the products? And the direction of your company. So when I say the direction of your company, what I mean is, if you pull out your business plan, that old dusty business plan that you did years ago, or maybe you just did one maybe a year or two ago, I want you to look at your financials. When you put a pro forma together, you had estimated on financials of where you wanted your company to be, and compare it to what your company was actually doing. Compare what type of marketing strategies, what type of customers that you wanted to acquire, okay? And then make provisions to change those, okay? So spend some time of figuring out. Maybe you could send out some surveys to some old clients and see what were you doing well? What were they satisfied? I want to start from the outside, and then we'll work on the inside. Now, you might think, so I wasn't operating in the best financials. We wasn't acquiring enough sales to meet our break even, or maybe we wasn't profitable. Maybe we were doing just break even. Now, it's very cheap to retain a customer than to acquire a customer. If you're a business owner, you should know this. You should know, what does it cost for your business to acquire a new customer? And that term is called cost per lead, okay? What does it cost for you to acquire a new customer? So my business, it costs me $65 for me to acquire a new customer. Look at your cost per lead. So, but it's way cheaper to retain your client to acquire new ones, okay? Now, we're saying we want to gain some customers, and maybe we're not at a point to gain some customers. Maybe we want to focus on retaining those clients and trying to touch them again to sell them something else or upgraded services. For example, we have retrofit kits for blinds. And I just put this on top of my head. Retrofit kits for motorized blinds. Maybe I could call my customers that bought blinds from me and sell them a retrofit kit. And it's easy for you to attain. If they already did business with you and they're already satisfied with, more likely they will buy from you. And these retrofit kits, I don't have to go out. I could just send it to them and they can install it themselves. Okay, so that's something that, you know, what I say when I say you can retain those customers and acquire some new business from your current customers. Okay, now if we're at a point saying, oh, I can't resell them services, maybe you install heaters. Okay, that customer is probably not going to buy a heater for another 25 years, but maybe you could change it up. Maybe you could introduce a new product line to them. Maybe you need to start selling filters. Okay, so these are things that we could do to actually transform our business, okay? And when I say, hey, maybe we want to gain some customers, maybe we want to fire some customers. As I was in a franchise, most of my customers was residential, but I chose, in my mind, I was like, I'm not a residential person. I want to do more commercials. So I fired all my customers, all my residential customers. I mean, if they still call me today and they say, oh, Chawanne, I need a blind, depending on what customer it is, I would sell them a blind. But if it's like one of those customers that gave me a freaking hard time, no, you find somebody else to deal with your crap, okay? So, and this is what I'm saying. Maybe you need to fire those customers that don't pay their invoicing on time and they just give you a bunch of crap, and they're just a pain to deal with. And yeah, the customer is always right. You want them to know, yeah, you're always right. But in the back of your mind, you know this customer is dead wrong. So maybe we want to look at those customers that cost you more money and time. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with firing a customer. If it's costing you more money and time, more than the average customer, and there's really nothing wrong with the product or services that you rendered, you need to get rid of that customers. Okay. Now, another thing, maybe you have a business where you thought your customer base will be X, but your customer base is Y. And for example, we have good, better, and best. Okay. Those are the type of blinds that I sell. I have a cheap customer, and then I have your middle of the road customer, and then I have that high dollar customer. Now, depending on how your website is set and what type of products and services that you have, maybe you are attracting that cheap client. Your customer is always a reflection upon you. Okay. Hey, I hate to tell you that's always a reflection on you. I'm spending a lot of time on customers because you need customers to make your business run, right? For your doors to stay open, you need customers. So your customers is a reflection on you. If you a BSer, your customer is going to be a BSer. If you all sloppy and dirty when you go in the customer's house, you probably getting that low dollar client that's nickel and diming you. But if you on top of your game, got your stuff together, even your invoicing. Technology is something. Hey, get away from the paper invoicing. Have your sales tech or your sales have an iPad and PDF it. They could write their signature on DocuSign. That's what I'm talking about. So another thing that I want to point out, if you step up your game or boss up on your game, you will attract those upscale clients. Okay. So when I say fire the customer, maybe we want to look at, before we fire the customer, we want to look at what we're doing. The next thing I want to talk about is still on the outside. What is your image? What are you portraying? Okay, so we say fire our customer. And I said, okay, when you walk in the customer's house, you're not all sloppy and stuff. But what is on your website? Okay, are you really relevant? Or do you have like one or two posts on your website? Do people know you? Do they know when you put up these fuzzy pictures? They're like, oh, who took those? Grandpa? So, it's some pictures that is okay. They know, oh, this person took it from their phone. But if the majority of your post is like really low budget, then you're going to get some low budget clients. Okay. Or if you are not, you're null and void on your website, or a non-official website that's not professional. It's not a business. It's like the construction group at yahoo.com. Now, what does that tell any customer? What does that tell? Oh, this person is too cheap to buy a website for $9.99. Literally, it costs $9.99 a month to have a email address and your own domain. Okay. So if you can't do the $119 for the year, go to GoDaddy and get your name, get your own domain, get your own Outlook box. That looks more professional. That looks like you're a legitimate business owner. You could build your own website, but I suggest not to. You could find somebody on Fiverr to build a nice website, a one landing page website for an inexpensive price. If you're out in the web space on the internet and it looks crazy or low budget, you are potentially going to attract low budget clients. Okay, so step up your game, boss up your game. Don't have that at yahoo.com or at gmail.com. You need to get rid of that. How do you look on the outside? Okay. Another thing, when I say website, now if you have a website and you go on your landing page or your website, is it really clear? Is it professional? Can a person say, click here to request an appointment? Or do they have to find it? Or is it clear of what you do, what kind of services you render? Okay. Is it a clear and precise message? Okay. And if you want to look at my website, I will put it in the description section. So you want to be clear. Is it friendly to use? Is your Facebook page friendly to use? When your staff comes in, can they actually operate the equipment that is in the store? or is the machine is already always down? So if give an example, I have an admin and she kept on calling me when I was out of the store. She will say, "Oh, Chawanne, I can't turn on the computer, or when I turn it on, it's giving me a blank screen." And I'm thinking to myself, well, every time I'm there, I'm able to operate the computer. So what's wrong with you? Something must be wrong with you. Until one day I came in and I was trying to do something on the computer and I couldn't actually do anything on it. It kept on shutting down or giving me this blinking screen. So then I said, okay, maybe she wasn't blowing, or maybe she wasn't blowing smoke on my butt, and she actually couldn't do work. Or she would say, our phone lines aren't working. And I, of course, I didn't believe her. I'm like, well, how come every time I'm able to call or I'm there and it works? Okay, so things like that. So, and this is important because when people come into your store or when people call you, they are the first point of contact. And if you can't give them what they want, that's a potential customer is lost. They probably think, oh, you need to get your stuff together. Okay, I remember one day I couldn't run a lady's credit card because the machine was acting crazy. And she got so irritated with me. But it does those type of things. Like, do you have equipment that actually runs and operate properly? Because this affects your appearance, okay? So appearance is everything. So when we talk about transforming, maybe we need to transform some of that software and that equipment that's in your business because they're not operating properly, okay? So that's the outside. Now let's get to the inside. Like I said, can your staff, can they actually operate the equipment? Okay. I had a girl one time, and the sweetest girl ever. She was really good with the customers, but my only irritation by her or from her was when I tell her to create the monthly spreadsheet for our sales. I gave her Excel because that's what system I was using or application I was using. She would be like, "Oh, I don't know how to do simple formulas." And I'm like, "You don't know how to use Excel?" I was so irritated by that. And I'm thinking to myself, what person? And I couldn't remember in the interview. I think I asked her specifically, "Do you know how to use Excel?" Because that's what my spreadsheets are in. So I just so instantly got irritated by that. So can your staff operate the equipment effectively and efficiently? Or is your sales going into a sales appointment and they don't know how to generate a sales receipt on the computer? They always got to pull out this sheet, that carbon copy sheet, because we have that just in case of emergencies, that carbon copy sheet, and write their sales number. Use the technology, people. Maybe your staff need training, or maybe we need to reevaluate our staff, okay? So this is the inside. If you're operating on a low budget, you are going to attract low budget customers. Unless you want the low budget customers. I mean, if you're happy with your customer base, that's fine. But if we're trying to transform our business, we need to transform not only the outside, we need to transform the inside. And it actually starts on the inside. So is your staff properly trained to operate that equipment? Another thing we need to really look at is to engage your employees. When I talk about transformation, if you're not communicating effectively to your employees, they're going to be like, okay, you got all these ideas in your head and you want to start doing stuff new, but you haven't told anybody. And then you get mad at them because they're not doing it correctly. Okay. If you want to sell your people on your dream, you need to sell it on the dream and tell them before the dream happened, before this change is initiated, right? Selling on your dream or your goals to your employees is the most important thing, because if your employees are believing in that future, they would do everything possible in their power to help that future come true. Okay, because they're dependent on you for their job. Okay, so keeping that communication line is important with your employees. Ask for input. That's another way you could sell yourself or your dream to your employees. Ask them for input. And you know what that tells your employees? Oh, I am a valuable employee. They actually care about what I think. And that's another way to get them riled up. Oh yeah, that was my idea and they're using it. So you get your employees riled up about the change because you asked them about what they thought. Okay. So keeping that communication line open. Ask your employees, what's the engagement been like with the customers? Do you even know that? How do the customers treat them? Are the customers treating them like crap because you're out there selling crap and they're ashamed? Oh, I work for such and such. Man, that employer was bad. They always selling me some crap. Or is that the word around town? Like you work for X, Y, and Z. Your employees work for X, Y, and Z, but they're not proud of it. Okay. My employees, they used to refer their friends and family to me. So they were actually happy that I was their employer. Okay. So do you have that relationship to your employee? And then one of my employees, she ended up quitting the job, and she still called me because she bought, she needed some lines, and she called me to service her, and I charged her the normal price. She didn't get no discount. But what I'm saying to you is, your employees proud that they work for your company, or do the customers treat them bad because you're selling crappy stuff? Or do you have bad customer service? They have good interaction with the customer because of them, but when you go out, you a mess. Okay, so when I say transform your business, you want to communicate with your customers. What's that interaction with what their interaction with the customer? Ask them for some input. Maybe they could give you some better ideas. If you're looking to offer a different line of products, since we're transforming our business and operating post COVID-19, maybe we need to develop a more online service or digital service than having high contact with the customer. Ask your employees, how do they feel about that? What do you think about it? Do you think there's a demand for it? Okay. So one thing, the final thing I really want to stress to you, I'm very passionate about this subject because I'm a transformation queen. I reinvent myself time and time again. I had many a jobs, many a business ventures that I've sought out. And when things don't work out, you know what I do? I don't go, woe is me. That didn't work out for me. Oh, the government is not giving me a loan. Oh, no. No, I don't cry about it. You know what? I put that shit in the trash and start some new shit. That's what you need to do. The stuff that wasn't working for you pre-COVID-19, you need to throw that away and start new. And to do that, change your mindset and say, hey, if COVID-19 didn't happen, where would I be? Where would my business be? Now, if you say your business you'll be balling out of control, that's fine for you. But if you're one of those business owners and say, oh yeah, I was, kind of shaky. My business wasn't on the up and up. I could have did a lot of stuff better. Then you need to, whatever you was doing, put that shit in the trash and change your mindset. And you need to change your mindset of your employees. And that's why you need to communicate to your employees of where you see your company is going in the next 6 months, 12 months, a year from now. Okay, because if you can't sell your employees, you sold yourself, but if you can't sell your employees, it's going to be hard to make those transformation changes or transformations. It's the best thing that you could do first, and it starts within, then you can convince everybody else. Let me know what type of transformational things you will be doing when your business open. Please drop it in the comment section. And if I miss any transformation ideas, put that in the comment section. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon. Excuse me. I'm trying to record. Don't you supposed to be getting your clothes on? Come here. Stop touching the chair. You're moving the camera. Come here. Over here. What are you doing?
It's going to go down in the basement.
It's not boring.
Yes, it is.
Well, you gotta exercise. You don't want to just be watching TV all day, okay? So go with your dad. Thank you. Want to give mommy a kiss? Okay, go put your shoes on.